Hi, I was just daydreaming in your apartment, and Manor dropped off. Though it may seem odd, I wish to share these feelings with you. I walked onto the dock and was surrounded by pigeons. They stood on all sides of the dock, on the window frame, staring at me with their red eyes. Wherever I turned, I would be caught by the gaze of any pigeon. When I stopped thinking, I could only feel the gaze of countless pigeons. I trembled under this inhuman sight. Do you know how to tell whether a pigeon's gaze is kind or malicious? I don't know. Because we are not pigeons, and we can never learn to think like pigeons. I was told a whale once betrayed here in 1899. A dog first found it near Albert Dock Basin, and they are trying to cut it alive. A fierce war happened between them. There's only one tug at the beginning, then 2, 3. This pregnant whale ran ashore on the pebble beach. It did not die immediately. Its death was witnessed by humans and digested by time. I felt as if I were in the same situation as the whale. This incident had become a whaling net, caught both the dog and me. People no longer even remember what happened in the previous moment. As the dog and the whale's body gradually disappear, so do I. Is this dog, or rather, me, another whale to appear on the Thames River? I find a whale in Manor dock. It is huge but invisible. I can't see the whale, but I know it exists. I was driven by fear, and I simply felt I had to do something to break the silence. I was terrified, and I hope you won't laugh at my fear of the pigeon's gaze. I want to share this information and my feelings with you. I don't know what you think of it, but I suspect you will be interested in these stories happening so close to your home. I've been thinking about how to communicate with the invisible wellness. I stood on the dock, trying to find a signal to respond. Whales are silent, but the dock is not. I stood at Manor dock, feeling everything around me. The temperature, the wind, the sound of the tide. I've always thought humanly, haven't I? If the whale is part of the invisible order, then could its language be the inhuman voice of this place? The tide washes over the edge of the dock, and the driftwood and stone, repeatedly washed by the tide, are the site's way of communicating with the outside world, expressing the rising and setting of the sun and moon, as well as the seasonal changes through their songs. The language of communication should not be given by subject, but should be born from the way of existence of itself, such as the roughness of the driftwood, the driving force of the tide, and the compression between storms. I need to collect this driftwood and stones that make sounds, and use this object from the site to construct a huge whale skeleton in the form of a semi-open structure. My goal is to use objects from the site to construct the sound of the site, and to make these sounds an expression of wellness. I hope this language, derived from the site, will eventually receive a sincere response. I'm calling the whale from where it was buried. I'm so terrified of that feeling of being watched and dominated. I want to shout in their language, to practice wellness with my spirit, trying to move beyond being a bystander and instead seek connection in the language of the other. I transform myself into the state of a whale, calling out to the Thames over and over again. For those few minutes, I gave up thinking and let my body follow my subconscious instinct. I become a whale. My body's impulses dictating my actions, calling out to the Thames over and over again, regardless of whether I could get a response, regardless of whether there were whales in the Thames. I seems to be crazy, waiting for an impossible response.